guys. Woo! About to break a sweat here. I took a minute. I want to talk to you a little bit about this tree that I'm cutting. It's ready for a break and a drink of water anyway. This is what's called a water oak. Here's some of the leaves that have just started coming out. And if you'll notice, it's individual leaves that come off of the stems. And they're long, skinny. Here's a mature leaf that's dried from probably last year. And so that's why you can identify them. And they normally grow in wet areas. And I'll show you what the bark looks like, but I want to show you the rings on this tree. All right, so here's the bark. You can see it's a lot smoother bark. See if I can zoom in just a little bit on this and let you see it. It's a smoother bark than some other oak trees that have a flakier bark on them. So it's a pretty tight grained bark. But so I counted the rings on this tree, starting from the center going out. It's 21 years old. Obviously, this was 3 pieces that came out of a stump. So about 22 years ago, this tree was harvested and these grew out of the stump. Okay, so what can you tell by the rings in the tree? You can count these, and each ring represents a year. And you can see how, when it gets out here, these rings are harder to see, especially with all the moisture in it. You can see it a little better here in some of this lighter part. I don't know if this is really showing up on camera. You can see it. Yeah, you can see it pretty good right here. So each one of these is considered a ring. And that tells you how many years old the tree is. But you can see also in this, it had times of drought where the rings are close together. It was dry. See, this is kind of a band that has a little bit of expansion here, but as it goes around, see, when it comes over here, these rings get kind of tight. But then there's some that have big gaps in there. See, this was a really wet year right here, a really wet year right there, pretty wet year right there. But you see this tightness. Now when you get down in here, you see how these rings are, and some of these are real close together. This is real close, but right here it really expands out. What does that mean? Well, it was drawing water from one side of the tree because it has roots that go out in all directions. Now some of you what is it called, arborists that study trees and things, or a forester out there, probably may say, man, this guy's crazy. This is what I know about trees, okay? And so I may be all messed up in what I know, but this is what I've been told all my life, that the roots are drawing from different water sources in the ground. Some areas of the ground are wetter than others. And so, and you can see right here in the heart, it had some adversity. I don't know what happened there, why some of these are really dark in there. I don't know. But you can see there was some adversity that happened to this tree. Now, this was a little shoot that came off the side. Pull this up. You see that little shoot that came off the side of it. So it sprouted out down there on the lower part of the tree and then went up. But you know, it's the same way with us. We have attacks that come like right here. This is such a good example. They're real tight here, but when they come here, they spread out. So we have attacks that come, but from a different side than right here. You may be doing great in this area of your life, but over here you're suffering. And then right here, look at that. Man, this was a really wet year right here. And that ring stays pretty consistent all the way around. It gets, now here's something interesting. It gets tighter, all the rings do over here. And this part right here, I happen to know because I cut the tree, is away from, it heads up the hill instead of down the hill that's wetter. This side, see where I got in here with my tractor? This side over here is wetter. This side of the tree is wetter than this side. So the rings get tight. This is a natural drain in here. And over here, they're much looser on this side. And you see how even the rings are kind of ovaled, sort of ovaled out. So restricted here and here. Had some rough times on the outer on this side, but over here it's much wider. That's how our life is a lot of times, folks. A lot of times we go through things that, man, we struggle with. It just seems like we can't get through it. We can't get over it. We can't get around it. And so, hold on and glean, glean from the areas of your life where you have an abundance. Glean from that. But hold on in the tight areas. Don't give up. Don't let that dominate who you are, because in everybody's life, there's some areas where you're doing good. You know, you may be struggling with your health, but you have somebody with you that loves you. You may be struggling with love, but your finances are okay. And you may have trouble finding something in your life that is substantial. Hold on to Jesus. I promise you, he loves you. He's a provider. He'll always be there for you. Hey, I love you. And right here in East Texas, I'm still keeping the faith here on Faith Farm.